So the other day, I took my 1022 shooting and I had a lot of malfunctions. Basically, the bolt is getting stuck when I'm shooting, like, you can see like that. I don't have an automatic bolt hold open, but she's stuck. So we're gonna tear it apart and see what's up. Flathead. Safety off. Throw it into binary mode to work on it. That will be this way, away from the trigger. Put that in a bin. All that stuff's in a safe spot. Save your screws, your safety pieces, and your bolt. Slip her through. Got it. Okay. Now, this is farther than I had it apart yet since the incident. You can see it's a little dirty, but nothing abnormal. But I'm gonna start knocking out these pins and see what's really going on. Get your tray. You're gonna knock out this pin, that pin, and this pin. And you always want to make sure when you do that, this is closed and it's clear, which we already checked. One already fell. Oh, that wasn't so nice. Why though? Now, right away, I'm gonna check this Franklin Armory BSF3 trigger that I put in, just because it's an aftermarket part, and who knows, could just be this thing's working. Trigger is working. Test it by holding the hammer, hold the trigger, should release it. Stay holding the trigger, put the hammer back, and let go of the trigger, should release it. And it did. Doesn't feel so chunky and messed up in here like I thought it might be, so that's a good thing. $300 trigger turned out to hang on. I'll be totally honest with you now. I just don't see anything really wrong. Let's take that bolt right out. Maybe there's more. This doesn't look... I'm not finding anything significant here. Why would it do that? So right now what I'm looking for is any like really particular peening or scuffing, scoring, maybe something got pinched somewhere. And so far the receiver looks fine. I'm not sure. Usually I have an idea, but I'm not sure. Now the recoil spring's moving all right. Like, I'm going to keep an eye on this bolt hold open. Now it should have wear on it, but this is my first time running this trigger with this type of hold open. So I'll actually bring it real close for you here. See that saw blade moving. All of the springs are in the right location still, nothing jumped free. The hammer doesn't have any severe marring or anything like that. Like I said, the trigger itself seems to function A++. We're not worried about that anymore. Okay. Okay. So I am noticing something on this bolt. This might be hard for the cameras to see, but we're gonna do our best. Oh, if I could shimmer some light on that. Maybe not. Right there, that little dent. This could be stopping us up. Now, I might have to run the file to it and make it smooth enough to go through the receiver, because that track is really tight on purpose, and we don't want to just keep running it until it fucking goes back to normal, you know? We want to try to make it just fit nicely, and hopefully it runs. So I'm gonna get this bolt torn apart really quick by knocking out the pins, and you know, I'm just gonna clean under the firing pin for fun. That's not really relevant here. Okay, so that one spot on the bolt we found earlier, right there. There is a mar there that is very hard to see on camera, but it's there. And I need to file that thing off, make sure my bolt's gonna slide nicely. So I can feel it. If you can feel it with your fingernail, it's too much. Nice and easy now. Just kind of round off your edges here a little bit, wiping away any chips as we go. You don't want any of these chips to just ride on the bearing surfaces. It's always nice to get all these little burrs off, and I'm probably gonna have to check the inside of the receiver too. Alright, that should definitely clear now, I believe. I'm gonna hit it on the side one more time for good measure. Wiping off all the flakes. Maybe even one more time. You don't want to feel that burr at all. You want it to be gone. So I'm not too sure what all got stuck in the gun, but like I didn't find anything inside the gun in my hand, you know. It's looking like something metal got its way into the receiver, and I worked it out at the range by trying to get my gun going again, but it was too marred to just work properly. So this might have been an easy fix, and we might be back up and going. I'd take a look at the inside of this receiver one more time. Like, you feel with your fingernail really hard, you know, just try to find imperfections in there, and I have found a couple. I got one. Yeah, they start in the back area here, kinda. So I'm gonna work on filing ever so gently right there. We don't want to file too much off in the receiver, obviously, but you want to make sure your burrs are gone. Hold on here. Piece of sandpaper down here. Get a rag. Sorry, I was out of view there for a minute. I don't see any big flakes or anything. Also, another area that is a bearing surface. This sleigh here, your bolt rides. I put this thing together all the time, and I still get a little confused. Anyway, hold on. This sticks outside the gun, like such. So, this sleigh right here, it's also riding in the grooves back and forth inside that receiver. So we want to give a feel around it, make sure it's doing all right. I don't see a single thing wrong with this. Now I will say, I'm gonna run something up and down that a couple times to make it smooth. I think I'm gonna go use a Scotch-Brite really fast, but it's really not that rough to begin with. I don't even think that's a problem. But just for making the gun nice, I'm gonna make that a little bit smoother and then show you the result. Alright, another point I wanted to touch on with the Ruger 1022. You gotta replace your buffer pins once in a while. And that'll be your pin that goes in the big hole. That one. Now, mine's doing okay, but it's getting close. Eventually you need to replace it. They're like $5. You can also get plastic ones to make your gun a little quieter, but these will last longer. Also, the plastic ones won't ever beat up the receiver, so it's something else to think about. give this receiver one more good wipe. Yeah, there's some flakes. Something was trying to rub itself into place in there. And, you know, I would do a really deep clean on this gun right now, but I literally got to run like 20 rounds out of the gun, maybe 30, and I had these malfunctions so bad that I just had better things to do, get going with the day. Get all that oil in there. Okay. Drip a little bit right in the receiver tracks. Why not? Rub it in. Throw some more on this clean bowl. All down the firing pin. Don't move that around. Feels great. Kind of just rub the oil all over the rest of it. Okay. We'll get to see if we fix this. That seems to slide really freely. Who knows though? You never know until you put the rounds through the weapon. Big buffer pin. Last trigger pin. Oh. Let's just give it a shot here. Wow. Yep. I think we got a good gun again. See how that trigger hits. See if it hits binary too. Oh yeah. Huh. Gotta get your big barrel screw. Be a flathead screwdriver. Okay. Safety. Last step in putting this gun together if you have the Franklin Arms binary trigger. On a normal Ruger 1022 you would put it between safe and then there's fire. You put it right between the two to slide it out of the stock without damaging it. This one, you just take them off. It's kind of nice. Depends on who you ask. Okay. You really want to make sure the side of the safety, like if you're right-handed, make sure the right side of the safety is pretty darn tight. And you want to order backup screws for these Franklin Armory binary triggers. But I haven't had any real complaints besides of how much parts I had to fit. Like they didn't fit when I got them. But once you make the parts fit, yeah, good system. And you got to take the burrs off the hammer and, you know, each sear. Yeah. That's what's going on, guys. So something is making this bolt hold open hit. And I kind of thought that would happen. Yeah, that little bit of marring on the bolt was from the bolt hold open. So I'm gonna get this gun back apart and work on dremeling that down. Well, guys, a little bit more messing around with the gun, and now the bolt hold open doesn't even want to move. So I think we found where our problem's at. Bolt hold open's catching it halfway because it's just a little too big. But something tells me we just have more to find. Alright. That would be why the trigger has pressure on it. Hold on. Alright. So guys, I figured out why the gun is being so spotty. What you got here, you see how this little blade, it ever so slightly stays protruding. But now watch this. There's a spring right by that blade, behind it, and it's getting in the way. But if you give it a little push and maybe a little bit of help with the trigger, it goes down into place where you can't see it until the hammer goes back and it launches it up just a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take out this part and I'm gonna allow for a little more clearance on the spring side, so we're not taking away any material towards the bearing surface of the actual bolt. It's only gonna go down deeper into the system. Alright guys, so See that little marring right there? That's what was stopping the 22. We need to clear out a little bit right here, and this gun should run and run and run. I'm excited. Let me get my big file out. Go to town.